Hello, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Johnny Baghead, as always, and I've been mentioning this for a while, so this might not be a surprise to people, but I've been talking about one in the stream Dark Souls, and I have a really good reason why. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Sorry. So, I really like the Souls games, but I've got a really bad history of actually finishing them. So, Demon Souls, I did finish. Demon Souls took a long time to get properly released everywhere, especially in the PAL region. I think we had to wait like an extra year or something for that version to come out. So I actually own a imported US copy, I believe. I think it's US. Yeah, it's a US copy. And I finished that, though it did take me a while because I think I like started it, stopped and came back to it. And I did play this a lot when it came out. Like I have trophies for like I checked, I do have trophies on my PlayStation 3 from the when this would have come out. And I got really far through this game. I'm going to load up my save in a bit so we can see. But I was doing a lot of it co-op with a friend and I don't remember what something else must have come out or something came up and I ended up dropping the game and he finished it with someone else and I mentioned like, "Oh, hey, I never got around to finishing." It was like, "Oh, I don't really want to redo all that content again." And also, I think after a certain amount of time, it been so long that I was putting it off because I was like, "Do I want to jump back in a save? Would I remember what I'm freaking doing?" So I never actually finished this. I did finish Bloodborne, though it again that took me a while. For some reason, I have this bad habit where I start these games, get a good chunk through, and then drop them for months, and then finish them. Um, though I didn't do like everything in Bloodborne. I did most of it. I didn't do the DLC, but I got all the endings because mainly you can kind of cheese it if you just back up your save to to like a memory stick or the cloud. But I didn't do the DLC, and I didn't do all the chalice dungeon stuff. And I've not played any of the other Dark Souls because I always felt like I had to go back and finish this one. But today, we're we're going to start fresh, and I'm going to be committing today, doing these streams. I'm going to actually finish this game, so I can actually play the other ones in the series, and then I can go on to like other From Software games. Like I've never played Sekiro because again, I didn't want to keep buying their new games and when I hadn't even finished them all. So here, what we're gonna do, we're gonna load up my save. Let's see. Yep. So I've got two saves. I don't remember starting a second game, but I guess I did. We got Squid Jerky. I don't remember this save. that's, that's really funny. Okay. So we've got Squid Jerky in Sen's Fortress. And then we got Bagwell Head, because Bagwell's like my fancy name. Now let's see where this is. If this is the main shrine area, I must have came out because I remember where I stopped, and it's an optional area where you climb down the roots of trees. But I just want to see. There's a few. First off, because it's been so long, I actually wouldn't know where to go at this point. I don't. I remember so little about. Yeah. Okay. So I must have traveled back. Let's see. I'm going. I must have gone. Okay. I think also at the time when we played, I'll admit it was closer to around launch. I'm trying to think where. I guess that is the best place for the webcam. Yeah, because the soul counts at the bottom. But yeah, gone for a beefy build here. Hang on. So I think you can see, so I did do a lot. And some of this stuff is optional, but I don't remember where all of it is. And I don't know where it even is. I kind of want to warp around because I want to find it, and I remember where I stopped. And then we'll do a new. We're going to do a new character because it's been too long. Also, it's a very minor thing, but I messed up in this playthrough really early on. When this game came out... Oh yeah, that's the point. Okay, so it wasn't this one. We're just going to warp around for a while. When this game originally came out, a lot of the translation in the item description and the use description was really bad. And one was specifically the there were specific souls you got. I think they were like Firelink souls. Okay, yeah. Well, I did the Duke Archive area. Oh, my PlayStation fan is going at it. I remember, yeah, I do remember doing this. We did this co-op. I remember that. But what it was, it's an item you use to make your Estus flasks stronger. And at this point in the game, you could actually have a +3. But I fucked up because the original translation implied that you use the item. Okay, this is heading towards the end of the game, I believe. Like, I think you have to actually go down there to find the final areas. So I got this far. Maybe I can't find it. There's like an area you can go to, and I think it's entirely optional, where it's like you climb down the root of trees. I don't know how much I'm going to do of stuff. From what I can tell, I did look this up, so I'll preface this. This is the PlayStation 3 version I'm playing. Out of curiosity, I looked. Is this it? Is this the optional area I got to? Or is this somewhere else? Okay, I don't know what this is. Whoops! Well, we can practice. This will be my practice. Yeah, good practice. This is DLC, I think. I think this is the DLC area. I could be wrong. Well, there you go. So yeah, definitely not loading this save and playing. I don't remember. I don't remember anything. But yeah, so I checked it. This version should still have online components if I wanted to mess with any of that. I did double check just to see how much the remaster was. But it was too much, I think, just to get it just for this when I already owned it. And I wasn't sure that the benefits would really... Oh, why do I keep hitting that? I know like that there's some graphic stuff that would be helpful, like the frame rate's better, but also I heard there's some like art direction and lighting stuff that some people prefer in the original. And also, though some of the frame rate improvements you wouldn't see most of them because I don't stream at 60 FPS. I don't have the hardware to do it. So I think I'm just gonna stick with this version. Like maybe one day I'll swap to that. Because I'm trying to think of, because you know this is quite a long game. This is going to be one we'll be doing for a while. But okay. So yeah, but you know I'm not going to play the PC version because I can't. I don't have a PC. So and you know, I especially don't have the computer I have is definitely not one. Okay, so we've got to come up with a name here. Oh god, why did it default to this keyboard? Can I not swap it to the good one? There's an actual like keyboard in the PlayStation UI, so I don't know why it's using this one. Also, input mode doesn't actually seem to do anything. It just does that. I don't know what that does. Okay. We've got to come up with a name. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go with. Let's do this. Terrell. Yeah, Terrell. Spudston. There we go. Terrell's. Oh, there's not enough name for it. Darn. Okay. Can I do... There we go. Terrell Spud. That's our guy. Terrell Spud. Yeah, we go Mel. Okay, class. It's my fantasy name, alright? Terrell Spud. Okay, so we've got the warrior. It's a good starter one. What's the main difference here? Okay, the wanderer. Thief. I'm a bit boring. I do mainly tend to use there's the bow wielder. I don't think I'm going to mess with any of the magic wielders, so it probably is going to be warrior or knight. Let's see. I think probably warrior. Don't exactly remember. Probably just gonna stick with warrior. Okay, gift. Okay. From what I remember, the master key is probably the easiest. Is probably what I'll go for because it does let you open doors early. So I think I'll go for that. Let's see. Oh, hang on. Yeah, so what the master key does is there's some doors that open up shortcuts you can open early. Tiny head. I don't think I want the tiny head. I might want the big head. I think we're going to go for top heavy big head. Okay. Let's see. Oh, if this was going to be me, it would have to be who's got the lightest. Yep, it'd be that one. Nah, not quite. It doesn't really matter too much what I'm going to do here. Ominous. There we go, we're going to be dubious. Alright, let's see. What's the coolest hair we've got? believe this is what I had. My original character, it was like a really janky looking Leon Kennedy. I used this, and it was like, oh yeah, this is like Leon's cousin who's not as good looking, who wants to. who you know is like, oh, I want to be like him. There we go. We'll go for this. Accented by sweat. There we go. Oh, what colour though? Purple? Maybe? I don't know. This is a weird decision to make when you don't have your own hair and you have to figure out, okay, what do you want to do? Let's go for silver. And I think that's all good. Oh, I have to actually... There we go. I don't think in this one. Maybe in the remaster. And... I don't think I'm going to do... That might be remaster PC only. Or maybe if you go into customize. There it is. Yeah, I have to go into this menu to do it. I don't think I'm going to mind too much. If I remember, there is a cosmetic that I would like to find. But we'll go for this. Alright.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed.
Well, we're not Dante. We're Terald. It's our character name, Terald.
A land of grey crags, arched
Terald
trees,
Spud. Don't forget it.
everlasting dragon.
The adventures of Terald Spud are going to be amazing. Just you wait.
But then there was fire,
Alright, one sec.
and with fire
Could I just
came
have
disparity.
to adjust this?
Heat
There we go. I think that's good.
and cold, life and death.
Yeah. Spudded.
Of course, light
All for Spudden,
and dark.
I decided to play this. Ugh.
Then from the dark,
But yeah, I just don't have a good reason. I don't even have an excuse. I don't remember why I got really far in this game and then just stopped. I don't know. Because I was early on really into these. Like it kind of sounds like a brag, but I don't mean it to be. But I remember hearing the buzz around Demon's Souls because, you know, when it originally came out, Sony didn't have any faith in it. They thought it was terrible. But I remember hearing a lot about it and seeing previews and stuff and hearing how interesting and cool it was. So I imported a copy. Because there was no official announcement of a PAL version ever coming out. So I was like, well, screw it. I'm just gonna order it myself. Because back then as well, it wasn't too bad. In some cases, importing stuff you would save money because of the way, like, pound to like USD to GBP conversion worked. You could get a lot of games cheaper by buying American versions. And PS3 doesn't have region lock on discs. Though it does on PlayStation 1 discs. If you put like foreign PlayStation 1 discs into a PAL PlayStation 3, it just doesn't play it. Even though it will play digital downloads. Yeah, I don't know. Final Fantasy's always been weird here. Remember, until the DS version, we didn't get Chrono Cross. No, Chrono Trigger. We've never got Chrono Cross. Chrono Cross has like never come out here. Maybe it's on the PlayStation 3 store. I'll have to check. But yeah, the DS release of Chrono Trigger is the first time we got that game. Final Fantasy Tactics, the first time we got that was the PSP version, which is a remake. Yeah, I don't know. They just...
Even now,
the only thing I can think of is they... I found out that Konami had that weird thing. I think it was Konami. It came out that they wouldn't localize games. At one point, this must have changed, but around the PlayStation 1 era, they wouldn't localize games for the UK if they also couldn't localize it for the main languages in Europe as well. So it had to be like French, Italian, Spanish, etc. So they would never put out UK only releases. They were like, no, we have to put out in all regions. And it's weird because that's somewhat like commendable of like, oh yeah, you're not going to leave these others out. But the choice is either you leave everyone out or you just leave everyone out who can't speak a certain language. So why wouldn't you just release it in English?
Yes, indeed.
So at least some people don't miss out.
The undead.
So yeah, it's weird. But yeah, for some reason we didn't get Square RPGs for a very long time until basically PlayStation 1. But that also means we don't have the weird number issue. We don't have the weird they numbered Final Fantasy 4 and 6 wrong. When we got we did get them re-released on PlayStation 1, so we just knew the numbers. And when 7 was getting marketed, they were like, oh yeah, these are the 6 games for it.
This is your fate.
It's always been weird. But yeah, so I was one of the early ones who was like into these games and imported Demon Souls to play it, just because it was taking so long for the PAL version that came out, and I did finish that one. But this game, for something must have happened and I got distracted. But it is a long game, to be fair, especially on the first playthrough, going through without knowing what to do. Now, I'm going to mention this is not going to be a playthrough where I can explain major lore stuff. I don't know, like the ins and outs of the lore or the mechanics. We'll see some stuff that I'm familiar with, some stuff I remember. But yeah, I'm not going to be able to explain everything. There are other playthroughs out there for this. This is more for just what does Johnny remember? Like, what is Johnny able to do in a game he last played maybe 9... I don't know, I'm trying to think like how long ago it would have been. I'd have to look. There was definitely trophies I had in 2012 for this game. I don't know if I was playing in 2013. But definitely a long time ago. So yeah, we got our messages explaining the buttons. How is the brightness currently? Oh yeah, here we go. I was going to mention this though. There are bagheads in this game. Here's the first one. He's on my list, but it's like, what do I call him? He's just one of the undead guys. He's got no name. I think he's the only one of these... Oh. There's that big thing. He's the only one of these guys that has the bag on the head. There is another character, though. Yeah, strong attack. And dash. Yep, I remember all this. I think most of the controls I'm going to be fine on. Just because they've kind of been universal in all their games. Yeah, target, lock and release. Hello fellas. But yeah, this shouldn't be, for example, like that playthrough I loaded up where it was 64 hours. It shouldn't be a playthrough that long. Because hopefully I've retained some memory and skill from those earlier playthroughs. I'm gonna go bonfire. Boom. I was actually trying to look up, so I'm pretty sure these servers are still up for this game. Okay. But a lot of the research I did was just people asking, wait, is it still up? So, but the fact that people were asking and I couldn't see any big announcements of From Software or Namco saying, yeah, we took the servers down. So I'm going to assume that they are still up. Don't know how many people are still playing this version. Because there's no crossplay and... Get away. Remember this. Though I do think it is viable. You can beat him there if you're crazy. You're crazy good, but I'm not. I do have a question how the brightness is though. I'm gonna have a quick look at my preview and see. I think. Oh. Okay, I think I am going to change that if I can. Oh, yeah. Honestly, I can't even see the dragon on my screen here. So we are gonna crank the brightness here. And that's just the yep. I don't know if they've ever done this in any of these games, but I've always found it interesting that you can dual wield shields, but you can't attack with the shield. Doesn't act quite how you would want it to. Because how I would like it is like, oh yeah, you could use the shield like a blunt object. But I think if you put the shield on the right one and you attack, I think you just do the parry. You just do that. Or it just blocks. So you're just blocking with both hands. Alright, yeah, we're doing fine there. I do have memories of when I played Demon Souls and how long it took me to get through that first area. I don't mind admitting, it was tough the first time. Learning the ins and outs of that game, because it was very different compared to stuff I'd played. You know, like I hadn't played any From Software games that had come out beforehand. Okay, yeah. This is you're definitely going to see where the frame issues are in this version. I mean, if it gets too bad, and I know the area where it does get bad, if it doesn't, you know, I'm trying to think if I ever would be like, screw it, and just rebuy the remaster. Am I wrong? I thought you could break one of these and get in that room. There's a guy there. But that first area in Demon Souls is so interesting because it's a big circle. Let's try going up first. Yeah, that's the Dark Souls I remember. Or don't remember. Yeah, I remember how to do the kick. That's fine. Okay, that's locked. Let's see, what do I actually have? So I have the Banished Crystal, Dark Sign, there's my Master Key. There's that stuff. There's my gear. Okay, that's it. Let me turn my preview off because I don't need that right now. Okay, there must be another way to get into that room. Maybe there's a ladder or something. Oh, okay. Yeah, see, this is how little I remember. I don't really remember the route through here. Okay, well, we open that up. That's kind of the classic stuff there. Oh wait, there it is. Weird. I thought you had to manually break this open. Ah, of course. Here he is.
Oh, you. You're no hollow. Hmm? Thank goodness. I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I were both undead. Hear me out, will you?
Yep.
Regrettably, I have failed.
It's kind of funny going back to these games and seeing how big the UI is as well. When they were...
There's an old saying in my family.
Because this was that weird era where we were in HD consoles, but it wasn't a guarantee that people would even have HD consoles. And sometimes these systems would only do 720p, and if they did at 1080, they would just be upscaled anyway.
And I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here.
Right, so I think this is the flask we get here.
An Estus flask.
Yep.
An undead favorite.
This game's still a looker though.
Oh, and this.
Like, honestly?
Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now. And thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. I know you can kill NPCs, though I'm not really going to do that. That didn't happen too much. I think like early on there were definitely... That was definitely a PlayStation 3 thing though. Oh, PlayStation 2, sorry. Okay, I was trying to see if I could remember how to parry. And not right now, my timing is not good enough. Let's see what we got. Yep, there's the swap to dual wield. There's the kick. Jump attack. Yep, Resident Bonfire revives enemies. I don't think there's too many of the... Okay, let me just... Okay, I can do the parry if I actually pay attention. But just in general, like the art direction and the lighting and everything. Oh, this is still a looker. I do remember. Well, it's a PlayStation 4 game actually, but there was the game The Order, 1866, where the game ran at 20. I think it was 24 frames per second, and had the really aggressive like black bars, so it was super widescreen, not even 16:9. Yeah, it was the plunger attack. Yeah, that was PlayStation 4, and I think everyone called bullshit on it because it was very clearly that it was a technical reason they did it. Same with oh, what's the name of it? I forgot the name of it. I remember the Japanese name, Psycho Break. Evil Within, that's it. Yeah. Where on consoles it had really aggressive black bars, and I think something else. I think it might have had a weird frame limit as well. and that was because they were really struggling to get that game running. No, about like a year or two after the game came out, they actually did manage to add a patch that did remove it. It was odd. It's like it came out like that to keep the frame rate better, but eventually they did optimize it. Alright, well, here we go. Let's do the first boss. Now, I remember to do this. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Alright. Well, this isn't that type of game. You don't save. It's all auto-saves. I think it was this game I was playing where there's enemies in an area that can curse you, and I actually was like, oh, can I just turn the console off and stop it? And it didn't work. I actually loaded the save, and it was just me getting cursed and dying. It somehow saved literally just before I, like, not even before I died. The save point was me. It was the final hit of my life. So I just died anyway. And I was like, oops. I think that was in some ways like impressive, because I didn't expect the saving to be so persistent. Like, that's a very quick, like, the set for what progress to track in, the saves are pretty quick. Plus that it didn't completely corrupt my save file was probably lucky as well. But there you go. Okay, so I think starting out this is not going to be too bad, because that's me going through a little tutorial. Good job. Yeah, that didn't go too bad at all. I'm shocked like how much this does hold up visually. Like, yeah, the frame rate is pretty much the only thing I think. Oh, like, yeah, you can always boost the game's resolution and whatnot, but aside from like the frame rate, this game still looks really good. Like, it's just really good art design. But I do remember that being part of why, like, because even Demon Souls, when it was first being shown, I remember looking at it and being really impressed with it. Even though it has like very simple architecture.
Only
Well, again, if
the
I played the
ancient
remaster
legends it is
runs
stated
at 60 as well.
that one day an undead shall be chosen.
I'm still not sure if I'll ever play 2. Dark Souls 2 is a weird one. You know, like, was made. It was still from software, but mostly a different team leading it. And it has some, like, it's very different in ways I think you could say are minor, but make a big difference. That's mainly what I've heard, but I've not looked into it too much, because with not finishing this game, I didn't really want to, you know, jump ahead. I own Dark Souls 3 on PlayStation 4 even, and I've never loaded it up, because it's like, whoa, I shouldn't, but, you know, without finishing this. But, you know, like, yeah. Like, yeah, I could definitely see where you could improve the resolution and where that would help. But it wouldn't even make that much of a difference. Yep, this is still online. There you go, there's someone else. Bonfire? Bonfire. Be wary of Hollow.
Well, what do we have here?
Oh yeah, this guy.
You must be a new arrival. Let me guess. Fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first. But But there's no
Even
salvation
Demon
here.
Souls was only
You'd have done
taken
better to
down
rot
2
in
years
the
ago, their
undead
servers, and that's an
asylum.
older game than this. That's
Too late.
so I
now.
think that game's servers were online
Well,
for over
since
10
you're
years,
here,
and
let me
mainly,
help you
I
out.
think, because of the
There
remaster.
are actually 2 bells of awakening. One's up above in the undead church. The other is far, far below.
Yep, there's
in
someone.
the ruins
People are
at the
definitely
base
playing
of
this version
Blight
still.
Town.
That's really
Bring them
interesting.
both, and something happens.
I don't know about the PC version.
Brilliant,
I think
Not much
there's a
to go on.
PC version and a
But there
remaster
must be
version, right? There's
won't
separate
stop you.
ones.
So,
I could be wrong about that, but I think they're separate. And
isn't
I
it?
don't know the
To be the
specifics,
cursed
but
land
apparently
of the
there are some
undead.
changes in the remaster that some people don't like. Where some of the like visual improvements change things. Let's rest. That's what I remember hearing. Okay, what does this actually do? Let me see all the explanation. Yeah, level 4 souls. Okay, HP. A number of attunement slots. I actually don't remember what attunement is. Okay. Stamina, equipment load, resistance to bleeding, yep. Maybe, but I think what I remember hearing is that the remaster came out, and I think they originally took the the original PC version down and then put it back up. Because people were like, no, we want that original version because some of the art's different. Powerful weapons also boosts attack. Wield advanced weapons also boosts attack. Sometimes Steam have multiple versions of the same game but hide. Yeah, I don't know if it was like that, but I remember hearing a report of someone saying, oh yeah, they kept the old version because people don't necessarily like the remaster for the changes. So who knows? If anyone here just wants to see what this game was like when it came out on, you know, console, this is it. Yep, defense, resistance to poison. Sorcery, yep. Magic weapons. Cast miracles. Humanity. No luck stat. That's a shame. And, oh yeah, I forgot that. It's like, the amount of humanity you have actually puts your stats up. So yeah, we've got health, stamina, equipment load. Exceeding max called sluggish. That's your attack stats. Defense against physical attack, strike slash thrust, magic defense, flame, lightning. Poison, yeah, remember this, bleed, poison, curse resistance, and then yeah, item discovery. Oh, okay, so yeah, attunement I don't really have to worry about. Alright, well, I think we'll just go for basic stuff right now. I mean, I'm sure there's something out there for people who want to play those older versions. Oh yeah, look, there's still bloodstains. People killing themselves here. Which, okay, I think I know what that's about. Right, let's have a quick look around. Let's see if this lady's here yet. Yep, here she is. So yeah, this reinforced Estus flask thing. There was one of these upgrades I never did in my version. Because I did it wrong. I used the item, and of course, because there's no save management, I couldn't reload an older save. We don't want to go down yet. I don't think I'm going to kind of like explore and look around areas. No, I think there is some items to pick up this way if I look around. So let me have a quick look. I mean, you could definitely do some stuff with the lighting to make this game look even better, because I will say that's probably something that's aged. You can tell it's baked in lighting. You know, like, even though like there's some light shade sources, but everything's kind of lit the same. But that's you know, it's all of these games. You go back to this generation. Heck, even PlayStation 4, there's still a lot of baked in lighting. I mean, these textures still look really good. I think they only look bad when you get really close to them like that. But when you're this distance, they look fine. So I think for what they are, they still look really good. Okay, yeah. I know if you're adventurous, you can head off this way a bit early and get stuff. Heck, I remember when the skeletons didn't give you souls. The launch version of this... Whoa! There's the frame rate. Yeah! I guess that's my... We were talking about what my speciality as a streamer is. And I guess it's going to be games that don't have good frame rates. Because it's like, okay, I've played Wonderful 101, which sadly does not have a stable frame rate. I played Half-Life PlayStation 2, which definitely doesn't. And now I'm playing the original PlayStation 3 version of Dark Souls. And there's the bird. Like, yeah, you could improve this game with just better lighting. But I don't think you would have to do much work to textures and things like that to make them look better. Because again, they only really look rough when you get too close to them. And the camera's built so most of the time you can't get too close to them. What did I just pick up, by the way? Oh yeah, there we go. I'm trying to think if I should actually bother unhollowing or not. Maybe not yet. I think maybe a bit in, because you need to be you need to get rid of hollow to be able to if you kindle a bonfire, it lets you carry around more flasks for that area. I'm kind of curious. Let's just mess around here for a sec. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely shouldn't be here. Okay. Yep, gonna leave you guys alone. I mean, I'm sure you can. If you probably weren't here earlier, Ramona. It's literally I haven't played this game in a very long time. I started it. I got really far. We did load my earlier save to show it. I got to the really deep underground area with the lava. Yeah, thanks for the follow. And, oh god, this guy's still chasing me. Good. Yeah, can I reset him? No. Okay, now they're backing off. Oh, there you go. Don't mess the skeletons early on. Okay. Yeah, I know there's a message there. Why is it... Okay. Oh, these guys are around. That's why it's not letting me use the bonfire. But yeah, I started this game back when it came out. Got quite far. Got distracted. I got to the optional area that's where you climb along tree roots. And most of the game we'd been doing co-op with people I knew. And something happened and I don't remember, it's too long ago. And then I never got back to it, and I didn't play the sequels because I felt bad about not finishing this one. Yeah, it'll come back to me. The tour actually did not go that bad. This skeleton guy though is not leaving me alone. So I guess maybe if I run far enough this way, he'll... I do know most enemies have... I think they do. Most enemies have a range of like, oh yeah, they won't go further than this. Yep, remember the firebomb guy. Gotta take care of him first. Oh, well, not yet. But yeah, I tried loading up that save, and I don't remember where to go, and I don't remember my build. I seem to have gone very heavy because I had like really heavy armor on. So, and I don't really remember most of this, so I figured the best thing to do was to just start over. Now I'm curious if that's partly why I do want to fix Hollow. I'm really curious how many people are actually playing online this version. And it seems like some people are, because I was seeing some ghosts and stuff around the bonfires. Go on. Get out. There we go. Alright. Okay, I'm doing okay. I'm not as rusty as I thought it was going to be. I think loading up that save and going into a boss fight straight away with gear that I didn't know what I was doing with freaked me out a bit. Okay, I did remember that. I did remember there were rats over here. I don't think I'm going to do everything I did in my first playthrough. It's one thing in particular. There's the forest area, and there's the covenant where you covenant with the cat, where you become a hunter and you'll get randomly summoned to fight players coming in. And I actually did that to get the ring that lets you it makes enemies not detect you from as close. I don't know if I'm gonna go through all that again, especially if there's not many people playing now and it's mainly just like the hardcores who play just to beat people who are like me, who are rusty. I don't know though, this game, I was saying earlier, but no, this game still looks really good to me. Especially for PlayStation 2. Woo! Yeah. Do have fond memories of, of doing that Forest Covenant. And when it was very obvious I was getting into encounters I wasn't going to win, just jumping off the ledge when they found me. It's been like, well, not winning this one, lads. just jump. Oh, love that frame rate when you break stuff. Yeah. Can we get up there? No. Not yet, anyway. Though it does remind me, so when I was finishing the original Demon Souls, I was doing, I think, I'm bad with location names, but I think it was 1-4, where you fight the old kin. No, Clarice is a friend of mine I've known for probably around the time I started this game. It's been a long time, no. Zara does hang out here though. She's been around a few times, mainly when we were doing Silent Hill 2, but she was here for a bit free. Okay, am I remembering wrong, or can I actually make that jump? Can you? I really don't remember. I'll try it a few more times. Do let me know if I'm doing this and I'm wasting my time, because I really don't remember. I think I'm wrong. I don't think you do this. I think this is the trap where they make it look like you can make this, and and maybe you can, but it might be frame perfect. Whatever, this is practice. Yeah, I don't think you can actually do that. That looked real janky. Give it one more college try. Yeah. You got me there. No. Okay. I'm wrong. You definitely can't make that jump. Or at least, if you can make that jump, it's, yeah, here we go. I'm not going to make that jump. What's this message say? Imminent shield. That's an alright hint. Oh yeah, sorry. So the story I was going to give, so I was playing Demons, yeah, the original Demon Souls, and I was like in the last few areas. I was specifically in the area before the... I think it's like you fight a kin in 1-4 at the end of the castle's area. And someone invaded, and I think we went back and forth a few times where the player kept invading me and fighting legit, and we did it legit. And then and then they came back in, and they just had some sort of crazy spell, and they just completely like one hit me, killed me. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. And then they messaged me, and they're like, oh, hey, how you doing? Do you want to co-op? And they just helped me finish the game. They like helped me do that fight. And well, not the final boss. Try holding with both hands, fine. Not the final boss, because the final boss was shockingly easy in Demon Souls. You know, I'm not sure if the two hands... No, I know it's there. I just wanted to do this stuff first, before re-popping all the enemies. Yeah, I'm going to put a better hint there. You got to kick him. You can backseat a little bit. If it's like really obvious secrets. Hang on, do I actually have the fin for rating? Ah, I don't. There's a book you need to rate. Yeah, you buy it here. Okay, fins are coming back to me.
Well now,
Here
you
we
seem
go.
to have your wits about you, hmm?
Hang on, I need some
Then
water.
you are a welcome customer. I trade for souls. Everything's for sale.
Okay, repair. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay. Okay, there's that. Okay, arrows. Cool. Chainmail. Okay, I don't... Okay, I won't worry about those now.
Things are getting treacherous in these parts. A horrible goat demon has moved in below.
There's specific
And up
armor I
above,
want,
there's that
which it'll be
humongous
pretty
dread
obvious.
and a bull
It's a
demon
headpiece
too. If you
that I
stick
want to
around
find.
this place, it might end up being your grave. Thank you kindly.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I forgot that about this version. Hang on. How do you do that? Is it you have to hold a button? Yeah! This version has 6-axis support. I forgot! Yeah. Look, watch. Haha, it's not a completely useless feature. Okay. Yeah. If you hold X and you do like... That's how you do the... That's a good one. That is a good outfit. Okay. I think I need to equip... Oh no, I've got it. Okay. Try... Is there not a kick? Actions. There we go. Okay, did we go down? I don't think I went this way yet. Oh, it's just a wooden shield. Alright, let's see. Yeah, not as good as what I've got. I was really surprised to see that like you can tell based on the ratings of some of these that people must be leaving these still. Okay, this was a good rating, I remember. Here we go, we'll use this. I know, it's just so again, this is the PlayStation 3 version. I wouldn't think people would still be playing this version. At least not this many doing the new stuff. I did a what was it? Yeah, I was doing the House of the Dead 3 and 4 streams not too long ago. Yeah, be wary of death, as always. And we were talking about how Sony were going to take the stores offline. Okay, I knew there was some changes. Oh. Okay, why is that happening? It's because I scratched my head, isn't it? Sorry, my internet went dodgy there. But we were talking about... Well, okay, so I heard there was some changes, yeah, to the remaster. Okay, you know, I think I'm going to reverse hollow in, because, yeah, I want to upgrade that bonfire. We'll try it out. But we were talking about how Sony were going to take the PlayStation 3 stores offline. And I thought about it a bit, and what convinced me of this is, I mentioned this before, Capcom puts out their games, they put out the sale numbers of their games that sell over 1 million copies, and between like this year and last year, there are still people buying some of their games in the hundreds of thousands on the PlayStation 3 still. So I think someone, I think it wasn't just the like fan reaction. I think publishers must have contacted Sony and said, "Hey, we're selling games on that system still." There we go. I won't level up for now. I'll save it. So I might want to get that bottomless box. I think I'm just gonna get the bottomless box now, just so I don't have to worry about it. Yeah, and I'm not a fan of it. Don't don't do it. Woo! It's a shame the original Demon Souls servers got taken down as well. I know it would never happen, but I wish there was some way that you could have it so when companies take their servers offline, they had some sort of obligation to keep servers online for people who want them. Not keep servers online. Sorry, I tripped up on my words there. But I wish they had an obligation to give people server hosting options. It's awesome when, you know, fans do like custom servers. Me and Clarice have done a lot of Phantasy Star Online Original on the fan servers, which, as far as we can tell, Sega does not seem to mind. But what it is though is I would love it if companies had to help in that process a bit. Like, not necessarily, you know, be part of keeping servers online, but, you know, it's like, hey, if we're taking this game offline, we're gonna make it so you're not breaking terms of use or whatever if you do happen to run fan servers, or we'll put tools out that lets you do it. Because I know legally it doesn't mean it, but morally, you know, they're taking away part of a product you've brought, you know? Yeah, I'm back.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah,
Still
I
getting your
am.
marbles all together? Then go ahead. Don't be a nitwit.
Oh,
Never
sure.
hurts
Well,
to
like I said, it
splurge
would
when
still
your
be
days are
open to fans to do it, but instead of fans saying having to like reverse engineer the code and shit like that. It'd be nice if there was some sort of legal obligation of like, well, look, we're taking this game offline, so we have to allow you to do that custom stuff. But I know the way companies are, like, look at all the complicated shit around repairing
you
iPhones
very
and
much.
computers and
Come
that
back
stuff.
soon.
Like, you can be sued for making spare parts if you're not a licensee and all that weird shit. Yeah, I saw you. Okay. If I remember this is... I think this is the path... Oh, okay, there's a gorgeous view somewhere. If I remember, I don't think I want to go this way quite yet. I mean, if there was a way that companies would at least have some sort of obligation to do it, I would like it. I just feel like if there's no legal obligation for companies to be open to fans, like, running servers for their games, they're not going to, you know? Aha, okay, I was thinking a different area. I know somewhere there's a path that takes you to the low area of all the rats. Ah, this is the jump. Okay. I understand my point is also completely unreasonable and unrealistic, and it would never happen. It's very pie in the sky. Idea. Nice. Okay, I'm remembering little bits. Where some of the secrets are. Okay. Well, let's keep going through. I think because of the way I played this game, this early bit I'm actually going to remember pretty well. And then once I get a certain point in the game, once I get past the Berg, then it's going to be, oh yeah, he doesn't remember what he's doing. Because I remembered the firebombers were there. I'd like to take credit, but I think a lot of it is also just I did this opening part so much. It's just ingrained now. I'm funny enough, I'm better at doing the parry than I used to be. I think I was always too scared to do it. Okay, can't open that way yet. Come on, yeah. Some of it's also the little Embry, like the firebomber bit there. It's just, I remember redoing this level over and over for not being very good at the game, and that's ingrained into my memory. Life memories, not I don't have those so much anymore. But the actual some of the traps I'm gonna remember. Though I completely forgot that the giant rolling ball in the starter area. I know where some of the ones that are coming up are, but I completely forgot about that one. Yeah, is that a dead end? I think that's a dead end. Yeah. Okay. At some point it might also come clear that my sense of direction is not great the further I get into this game. Once I get to the parts where I didn't repeatedly do them. What message we got here? Beware of enemy. It's an okay message, but try luring would be good. Okay, come on you. I think it's 2 checks. Don't worry. I think it's very similar to WhatsApp, where maybe the checks change color. If it's like WhatsApp, then it's it has to change color to blue. Okay. Someone's still firebombing me. It's good I've got this mic set up, because I don't think... Okay, let me check. Okay. Also, I've got a noise filter on, so that my setup. But if it wasn't on, you'd probably be hearing the original PlayStation fan right now, because it's going mental. It's loving it. Just. Nope, that's not the healing item. That almost went really bad really early on. To be fair, I'm using one of the really old PlayStation 3 models. It's not the original one. It's the really bad model where they took out the PlayStation 2 backwards compatibility. There we go, another soul. Okay, this is a gorgeous view. Yeah, I agree. I think this stuff really impressed me, because there was a little bit of this in Demon's Souls, but the sense of scale of being able to see where you'd been and being able to see the far off areas and you did actually go there. I remember this being one of the early games where that idea, a lot of games before said, oh yeah, you can see where you've been. Yeah, yeah. I mean, the PlayStation 2 backwards compatibility wasn't great from what I understand, but because it, you know, $599 US, they took it out because they were losing so much money on each system. Okay, I'm gonna change stuff. Take these off. Oh, I got another humanity at some point. I ain't complaining, that's good. Okay. Aha. What? Okay. What we got here? Oh, nice. Resin. But yeah, this stream is a good it's a good motivator for me to actually finish this game. Plus, if I ever do get around to getting PlayStation 5, it's also warm up if I ever do Demon Souls. I think that game even more so than this one. It'd be, yeah, I remember level 1 and level 2 and a bit of the mines, and then once you get to some areas it would be completely gone. Okay. Remember this guy. Alright, I'm not gonna mess with the black guy, knight guy first. Weapon. Yep. Use a weapon. Okay, yeah. I do remember where some of the traps are. Oh, longsword. Got 2 now. Yeah, yeah. Let's check this bloodstain out. Nice. Okay, well we definitely will rate that one. I don't have enough confidence that I can Oh wow, where's the warning about this? Come on people, letting side down. Also me letting myself down there. That was a barrel that time. If I remember right, you can jump down there, but there's actually nothing there. Lizard? A lizard? Oh, one of the lizard fins here? Okay. Oh, if I remember right, I think picking the master key... Hang on. Can we see him? We're gonna go look at him. I don't remember his name. Though, funny enough, I was wearing the, Okay, that keeps happening. I keep getting souls every so often. So that's making me wonder if someone did invade. We're not gonna go too far here, because this is This is a later area down here. Where is he? There he is. Havel is his name? Havel? So I was wearing the helmet from his gear. And he's tough. Yep, he's still chasing me. I just want to have a look, mate. Oh. Hopefully he's not still. Okay. Well. Okay, there we go. We hit his range. I remember that. I do remember you can cheese enemies out. There are certain ranges that when you get far enough away from their like start point, they won't follow. Though that's not every enemy. There are some enemies that will. I think like the Black Knight enemy. He's down. I can't really point. But down where that warning was. I'm pretty sure he chases you all the way back to the bonfire if you try and go back that far. I don't remember if you ever actually find anything in these barrels, but I'm gonna break them anyway. Alright. Yeah, you don't go that way. Is this the boss here? Oh, it is. You know what? Did you... I watched you play this, didn't I, Clarice? Did you ever actually beat this? I remember you trying this boss. Yeah, I remembered you guys. You could have. You were so close. Legit. Oh, nice. Try holding with both hands. I mean, that is an okay tip. Yeah. Again, there's some stuff that I just must have took so many tries doing this level. I do remember them. Plus, I got rid of those pesky, like, family memories. So I'm good. I'm grand. Okay. Demon ahead. Mm-hmm. You know what? Let's be nice. Yep, you too. Okay, where is he? Oh, there he is. Back. Oh, that was a bad time. Okay. Like, there's always a learning curve in these games, but I never feel like it's something people couldn't overcome. Ah. Okay. Gotta be careful. Got stunned there. That's good. I got that far without death, which is a little better than I thought I was gonna do. So that's fine by me. No. That's fine. Because now we do this. Let's see if I remember how to do this well. I think I can do this boss. I just need to be more careful. And, yeah. There we go. You can tell I I must have done this opening area quite a few times. Yeah, I remember. Do you remember? Oh, good job. That was terrible. Okay. Well, we'll stick with two-handed. Oh, there we go. I knew there was a way to slide down the ladders. Just couldn't remember how. We're not going to try and cheese this either. I know you can cheese this guy, so it's luck-based from what I remember. You can get him to jump off here. Oh. Yeah. What he does, if I remember right, he'll sometimes jump back like that. Thank you. He was cooperating with the demonstration. So if you position him right, he jumps backwards. And in doing so, we'll just jump off the bridge. Oh, this still gets you tense though. Make the viewers help. Make it tenser. Why do I keep getting extra souls? I think that's what's happening there, the gold. Woo! See, Clarice? Clarice. If I can do it, this bag-headed fool can do this. You'll totally be able to do this. Alright. Okay. So, if I remember... Okay, I didn't actually remember that. I don't want to take credit for that. I think I just noticed the, yeah, I noticed that message. I was like, oh, that's probably there for a reason. Dragon ahead. Yep. Okay. Sniper spot. Oh, don't like that message. That's mean. But yeah, here he is.
Ah, hello. You don't look hollow, far from it. I am Solaire of Astora, an adherent of the Lord of Sunlight. Now that I am undead, I have come to this great land, the birthplace of Lord Gwyn, to seek my very own son. You find that strange? Well, you should. No need to hide your reaction. I get that look all the time.
Hang on. Now that my fan is going into overdrive. I need to turn my TV up a bit.
Oh, aha. So I didn't scare you. I have a proposition, if you have a moment.
Yeah.
The way I see it, our fates appear to be intertwined. In a land brimming with hollows, could that really be mere chance? So what do you say? Why not help one another on this lonely journey? This pleases me greatly. Well then, take this.
Nice. There we
We
go.
are amidst strange
It's for
beings
co-op
in a
stuff.
strange land. The flow of time itself is convoluted, with heroes centuries old phasing in and out. The very fabric wavers, and relations shift and obscure.
Okay, I'm trying to
There's no
remember
telling
if
how
this was
much
one of the
longer your
games.
world and
Did
mine
they
will
in
remain in
patches
contact.
add
But use
NPC
this to
summons that
summon one
weren't
another as
there
spirits,
before?
cross the gaps between the worlds,
I feel like
and
sometime after
engage in
launch they
purely
added some.
cooperation. Of course,
I guess
we are
they're
not the
there for
only
people
ones
who
engaged
maybe
in this.
played but couldn't find other
But I am a
players.
warrior of the sun.
I
Spoke
know
my
Bloodborne
summons
has a
signature
ton of those.
easily by its brilliant aura. If you miss it, you must be blind.
Hehe. Okay. Is there anything else I can get from you?
Hello there. I will stay behind to gaze at the sun. The sun is a wondrous body, like a
Cool
magnificent
emotes.
father. If only I could be so grossly incandescent. Oh, hello there.
Okay,
The
now.
sun. If only I could.
Right, so this is the... How do I do it? Okay, yeah. Be summoned by another world as a phantom through your sign and defeat the area boss to acquire humanity. Hollows cannot conduct summons. Cool. I don't know how many people must have missed this, maybe. Okay. Can I open this? No. Now, if I remember right. Yep. Okay. So now... I think it's on the right. Is the staircase down? Yes, it is. Whoa. Good. Okay, I'm feeling better about this playthrough. Seeing that playtime on my original save file made me a bit worried. I was like, 60 hours? Oh, blimey. That's not too bad. Okay, well, we'll definitely level up now. I think we'll stick with this for now. Oh my, I can level up a lot actually. Okay. I think I'm just gonna keep it even for now, yeah. Oh yeah, no, that's not what the ladder is. I'm trying to think how far I can get in this playthrough today. I'm trying to remember what I know is coming up. Okay. Yep, soldiers ahead. Let's take this slow. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna... Oh, okay, it's this guy. Oh. There we go. Oh no, you too. Whoops. There we go. Now, I could... I don't think I will. I think when I played this originally, I did the cheese where you get the arrows, and you just sit here and you shoot arrows at his tail to break his tail off and get the sword, which definitely helps you out. That's a pro tip if you want to cheese it, Clarice, is that you can come here with the bow. I do have the crossbow, so I could, I guess. You come here and you shoot at his tail for a while, and I think that's a way to get this sword early. And though it bottoms out, I forget why. I think the way that the stats work, once you get to a certain level, the sword doesn't get any stronger or something like that. Let me check how much I've got. Maybe I'm wrong then. I thought there was somewhere later in the game you could also get the tail. Okay, I only have 16 bolts, so I probably don't even have enough. I remember some of the cheeses that people recommended you do for Demon Souls 1, specifically that level 1-2 where you're on the bridge, the really long bridge, and that's the whole level is oh. Hang on. Come on. Good start. Okay, I don't think I have any... Do I have any moss? Nope. Okay. If that's the case, I think... Oh, that's quite far to go back. I might just have to wait this out. Hang on, wait. Is that glow someone rating my message? That might be what that is. Yeah, that's what the glow is. I think that's someone rating the message I put down. There we go. But I remember reading some guides. I think Demon Souls might not have been out much. And some of the cheeses they recommend you do, where it's like, oh yeah, okay, so farm like 600 arrows and kill the dragon right at the start of the game. And you totally can. But I wouldn't recommend doing it that way because it takes so long. I don't know when, but I remember coming back to it, just doing it when you were high level with arrows. Oh, okay. Weakness parry. Try luring it out. Oh, what's up here? Oh, okay. I'm gonna leave that guy alone for now. Not while I'm poisoned. Okay. Yeah, that surprised me. I thought there was going to be some. No, I thought it was mainly going to be people who have played this game a lot. Need knight. Be wary of a tough enemy. Okay, you can unlock that door later, I think. What am I saying? It's this game, of course. It's all about opening doors. Alright. Is there any goodies up here or... No. Sorry, my cat is snoring really loudly. She's not picking up on the mic, because now I'm using a decent mic, but it's very distracting. There we go. So okay, so I don't think this game has any region lock. But I think when it was more popular, there were multiple servers. I remember when I was doing the co-op stuff with my friends, sometimes you would have to start the game multiple times because you would join a different server than them. I think probably now, because there's less people, that probably happens less often. But I remember it being finicky like that. Where we'd have to, yeah, someone put their summon signs down and then you would have to reload their save a few times. Nice, waistcoat. Though, I know that's something they changed in the later games. Because Bloodborne, you just have the password system that just lets you match up really easy. Sorrow? I don't know. Maybe. Okay, I'm gonna heal there. Cat is snoring so loudly. Oh no, okay. Alluring skull. I don't remember what those do actually. I think you throw them to... Okay, I think I kind of remember. A skull with meat lingering souls. Throw to shatter and spread souls. Yep. Okay. I kind of remembered. Now, do I still have the throwing knives? Yeah, I do. Oh, that guy's using the crossbow. I mean, I also have the crossbow, so I could go range if I wanted to. Hey! Someone run the bell. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we'll just do this for the throwing knives. There we go. I remember finding out that the bells ringing was someone in the server activating it was the coolest thing. Okay, well that guy there definitely knows I'm here. Whoa! Come on. Yep, I remember this. So messed up. Oh, nice try. There we go. Well, we've got to equip that now, don't we? Okay, what's the stats? Let's see. Here we go. Okay, so it is better, but it I think that makes me encumbered. Let's read it. Severed head of the fully armored Fanbor, taken by one who killed it as proof of his victory, just as the gods once did with the head of the ancient dragon. Can be worn on the head as a surprisingly sound piece of protective gear. There we go. Actually, no, I don't think I am encumbered. Let's see, be wary of luring it out. So what's down here? Okay, so that's the lower area. I don't think I want to do that yet, right? Oh no, I have to. Okay. Hello, I'm Dr. Cheeks and doing my rounds. I'm a little behind. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. Oh. Okay, actually... okay, that works out. I realise I don't have my PlayStation notifications turned off. But they're behind the camera, so that's fine. Oh, there's a specific helmet I want. But I don't remember where it is. Oh. Let's take you out first. Okay, I didn't think that was gonna work, but I managed to do the like the air attack and it worked. Mystery key and a broken sword. Okay, let's check out the mystery key. Where is it? Oh no, that'd be in there. Resembles a basic prison cell key. The purpose of this key is unknown. It appears to be basic prison cell key. Okay. I don't remember what that does at all. Alright, yep, you guys are fine. Haha. Okay, yeah, I can get that no problem. Nice, nice. Hey, another bell. Din, din. Okay, what messages we got here? Safe zone. That might be right, actually. Can't read that because that's a cheeky one where someone got on the side there. Alright. Don't have a lot of flasks though. Literally have one. But the sun's shining. Okay, wow, yeah, okay, I'm getting through this faster than I really thought I was going to. Yeah, these guys now. Okay, oh, there's a trap ahead. What is this way? There's this guy. There we go. Whew, okay. Gotta be sneaky here. Because I'm pretty sure something's... Yep. Is there something that way as well? Yep. Maybe I can... Alright. Oh dear. Okay, now it's getting serious. That worked. Nice. Yeah. Be wary of right. Yeah, we'll rate that. Oh no. Oh. Maybe I shouldn't keep going this way. I'll go a little bit further. Actually no, this might be it. Trying to remember where the at this point I just want to find that bonfire. I could use the homeward bone, but that seems like a waste this early on. Yeah, if I remember right, the bonfire's through here. Oh no! Oh dear, that almost just ended right there. Okay, okay. What's this way? Aha! Okay, this was the better way to go. Because this opens up a shortcut. Oh no. Oh dear. Okay, okay. I'm having trouble backstabbing these guys. But I feel like you can. Unless I'm wrong. This is... I don't know. The problem is that I think I'd have to run really far to de-aggro this guy. There we go. So I'm just going to lame him out. Oh. It's the... There we go. The one advice I can probably give to someone playing these games for the first time is, though a lot of the enemy counters can be scary, once you learn... Oh, Halbert. Once you learn that the enemies can, they have all the same weaknesses you do, like a lot of the same tricks that enemies, you know, they have to worry about animation priority and getting stunned and things like that. There we go. So starting out, it is very easy to be scared, but once you know how you can be defeated, you know how they can be defeated. Is the best way I can put it, and that's probably a terrible way of putting it. There we go. So, yeah, I think from here now I can backtrack to the bonfire. Right? Oh, not. Oh no, maybe not. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, to get to the bonfire, I'd have to go back across the bridge. I don't know if I would survive. Though then again, if I did die right at the bridge, I could just pick my souls up straight away. Oh, what should I do? Okay. Well, I'm not going up there. This is what you need to open, because look, there's a bonfire on the other side here. I just don't remember how you open this. Just make sure I've not missed a door that I've got a key for now. No, definitely not. Okay. If I see anything that's too risky, then I will Homeward Bone. You know what? I'm gonna take that sentence back. I don't like how it sounds. I heard myself say it, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't say that I'm gonna bone. Maybe that sounds weird. Okay, yeah, that's that way. I don't think there was any doors that way. Okay. Okay, I don't think I want to go in there. Oh, okay. And I'm just gonna be a nervous Nelly until I can. Once I'm dead, then I'm gonna be like chill, because then it's fine. I've just died. There's nothing to worry about. But right now, I guess I could sneak attack this guy. Yep, cheesy. Those guys like to parry you as well, so. Oh yeah, good view. Ah, this is the worst way to play this low health. Okay, let me check that shield out. Well, there you go. That's better, and I can equip it. So. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, that's too slow. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's once you get above 50%, that's when you get the slow roll. Okay. I'm starting to think my only option now is to try and run past those enemies to get to the you know, let me equip it, because I have it. Whoops. Okay, I guess I've forgotten how to do it. Isn't there a way to aim with the crossbow? I thought it was like you clicked in one of the sticks or something. Oh, well, never mind. Weird. What changed? Why am I so encumbered now? Oh yeah, there we go. I was trying to think. Okay, you know what? We're just gonna do mad dash style. Maybe the crossbow you can't. Okay. Nope. Oh, we were so close. That's fine. That's not too far. And I know what's coming up there. That's okay. It's mainly just these loading times that's going to make this take a while. That's alright, it's drink time. That's the thing, now that I've got my, now I've got the flasks back, I'm calmer now. The thing is, it won't take very long to get back there now. As long as I don't get myself poisoned again. Should be fine. There we go. It's actually... There we go. That was the main issue, was letting those rats poison me there. Yeah, I keep forgetting that. It's a later game where you could do like a quick climb up ladders, I think. Also, the boar doesn't respawn there, so we don't have to worry about the boar anymore. Go. Yeah, this won't take too long to get back to. Wait, hang on. That was fire. I thought I saw an enemy. Nope. That's my fault. I was trying to do the kick. Did the input wrong. There we go. There we go. There we go. Oh, no you don't. There we go. Yeah, see, we're not that far from there now. Now that I open that shortcut. Opening the shortcut really helped out here. But I've gotta... Maybe if I walk slow, I won't aggro that guy this time. There we go. Oh. There we go. Yeah, see, that wasn't that bad at all. Psyched myself out a bit there. Whoops. Okay, there's one. Oh, he healed. There we go. So now we can take you out. That's a shame. I actually was not that far from the bonfire. It's right down here from what I remember. At one point I did get really good at running past those guys. There we go. I think we're gonna go strength, endurance. Okay, I wanna kindle this one as well, because I remember this being a good one to kindle. There we go. That's Sen's Fortress over there, which I think the onion guy's over here. Gotta go talk to onion guy. Yep, there he is. What message we got here? Try gorgeous view.
Oh,
Oh.
forgive me. I was absorbed in thought. I am Siegmeyer of Katerina. Quite honestly, I've run flat up against a wall. Or a gate, I should say. The thing just won't budge, no matter how long I wait. And oh, have I waited. So here I sit, in quite a pickle, weighing my options, so to speak. Still closed.
Still closed.
Still closed. Still closed.
Still closed.
Still closed.
Yep. Alright. That's gonna be fun. Sen Fortress. I don't know how much I remember of that. I remember there's a secret bonfire in Sen's Fortress. I think it's behind a wall. Okay, what time is it? Okay. Here's this guy. Amazing chest ahead.
Well, you must be a new arrival. I'm Andre of Astora. If you require smithing, then speak to me.
How's the audio, by the way? I might turn it up a little bit. Just tiny bit the game audio. There we go. Learn gesture. Yeah. Okay. So what's he got? Okay, these. Oh, these are expensive. No, those are actually useful, if I'd say so. Maybe I should have saved up for them. Okay, broadsword. Actually would be good. There's our arrows. Okay, I just want to repair right now. Oh, it's cheap, yeah.
Most weapons and armor are mighty sturdy indeed. But every hunk of metal has its breaking point. If you notice durability running low, it's time to repair. You can ask a blacksmith like yourself, or do it on your own with a grindstone.
Whoa.
The nice thing about weapons, they never betray you.
That was close.
So pay them a little respect.
That's a PlayStation 3 issue, to be fair, because the triggers on PlayStation 3 controllers are weird, and they're very easy to accidentally hit. So I gotta be careful.
There are two types of weapon forging. There's reinforcement and there's ascension. Reinforcement is simple. It strengthens the weapon and nothing more.
Yeah.
A simple task for any blacksmith. Hell, you could even do it yourself with a smith box. But ascension's a finer art. It alters a weapon's properties. Ascension is the territory of we blacksmiths. A smith box just won't do the trick. Start out with reinforcement. When that loses its charm, you can consider ascension. As you've noticed, this land is flush with the mad and wicked. You won't make it through the night without employing my services.
Thank you.
Don't get yourself killed. Neither of us want to see you go hollow.
Thank you, sir. Okay, what's down here? Whoa, that guy. Okay. I don't think I need to go down that way yet anyway. Okay, so... yeah, so I think... oh, what's this say? Humanity? I think we're gonna go back up this way and go into this building here. I think it... okay. I'm looking at stream time. We're probably gonna get to the first bell bosses. Oh hey, someone put their summon down. Might as well, right? Let's see if this works. I think it worked. Oh, maybe it didn't. Nope, summoning failed. Oh no, there they are. There we go. Yeah, we got a person. This is a real person. I think it just took a while there. Cool. I like his look. Oh, don't like that frame rate though. Yeah, yeah. I remember this. This is the Firekeeper soul that I fucked up in my first playthrough and didn't use properly. Okay. Yeah, frame rates, beautiful. I've never really messed with any of the like magic user stuff in this game, so it's really interesting to see it. Oh, the frame rate's beautiful here. This is cinematic. Oh no, oh no. Ah, I'm an idiot. He was helping me out. Oh, numbskull. Well, maybe he'll put his summon sign down again and I'll be careful this time. I forgot about that. See, there's some stuff I just don't remember. That bit I did not remember. That's fine. That's fine. Maybe if we're lucky, that user will just go back and they'll just put their summon sign down. Basically, they have to put their summon sign down again. Somewhere. They'll either put it here or they'll put it elsewhere in the level. I completely forgot. I forgot that they do that there. Yeah. Hurry. Yeah. If I'm lucky. Yeah, he'll just come back. No, hang on. I forget if you have to be... You might have to, not be hollow to summon. I forget how that works. How does that work? Yeah. Well, we'll see. We took care of that knight, which is good, because that one doesn't respawn. Well, if I'm lucky, he might have just put his summon sign over here. Oh. Yeah, yeah. But I think what that means is you have to be. I think I could be wrong. I think it means that you have to be. I could be wrong. I want to say you don't have to be hollow to summon. I think if you're hollow, you can summon, but you can't be summoned. Is how it works. Let's just see, because maybe that got, I don't know what happens if they continue from where you are, or if they just get, oh, there's my bloodstain. that's a kick. As long as you don't run into the room, because in the room they can surround you, and that's why I did Ron. Yeah, let me touch my blood. There we go. I'm pretty sure you don't need to be hollow to summon people. Well, hang on. Here's the way to test it. Oh, you do. Okay. So, okay, I had that backwards. So, if you want to summon someone, you have to... Yeah. Okay. I thought about it a bit more and I realised because if you're hollow, you get summoned and you defeat the boss, you get unhollow. But also, you can only be invaded when you're revived. Yeah, if you're hollow, you can't be. So, there's that. There we go. Which I could, if I wanted to, I could go back and... Let's see, how much humanity do I have? 3. I could go back and regain. You know, I will. Because I think there's also an NPC. And I can't remember if you have to be... I keep forgetting what the term is. The term when you're not hollow. But you might have to be... I will say the boss coming up is a lot easier if you have a second person. The way the AI works, it's a lot tougher when it's just you. Okay, how are we doing? 3,000. Oh, I'm human. That's it. Human and hollow. And while I'm here, let's just get all my stuff repaired again.
Well, I'll use it needed.
Just save doing it later. Yeah, I had a bot
Neither of
send me a private message on Twitch once, and they actually did ban it as well. They do seem to be committed to trying getting rid of those. It's just obviously I've learnt this from doing the Fightcade moderation. Like if you can get access for free, then there's not really much stopping you from just constantly making new accounts. Oh yeah, a bunch of people are putting their signs down here. I think it still does the thing as well. When you summon people, it does change enemy difficulty. They get slightly more like health, I think, or at least the bosses do. There we go. Sorry, mate. Gotta do the bow. Okay. Well, I tried hitting that other summon sign, and then it disappeared, I think. Okay, yeah, we're gonna be gonna be more careful this time. Because yeah, that was Oh, he did that quick. So yeah, so what Ramon was talking about. So yeah, I think the way they do it is oh yeah, that summoning failed for some reason. Okay, we'll be careful. If someone is too high, there's like it's actually a really complicated system because it's something like they have to be within 5 levels or something like that, or 10 levels of you. Whoa! Yeah, the frame rate does not like being co-op here. I'm surprised how effective that guy's technique is. Okay, well I can always go back through this area to pick up stuff.
Oh, then I am in luck. Could you help me? As you can see, I am stuck without recourse.
Okay, I need to look up this guy. I think this guy's in a show I've been watching, Vikings. I think he plays a bishop.
Thank you. Yes, sincerely.
Yeah, I need to look this guy up.
Trek of Karim. I truly
Can you look his name up? Latreia, whatever his name is.
guarantee a reward. Only later.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, look up that guy's name. Oh man, tons of people are still playing this version. There's definitely no crossplay. That'd be... it was not... Crossplay was not really a thing back then. Yeah, yeah, I got this. Got this. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Tell me if either of those guys were in the show Vikings. Weird. Why 2 people? Maybe he's dubbed in the remaster? Okay, well there's bosses here now, so I did it. There we go. Trying to think how long I'm gonna go. I might not go too further. It sounds weird, but I'm kind of hungry. Plus, this would be a really good stopping point. This is the first bell. Oh, that was... I'm surprised I got away with that there. That dodge did not look like I avoided that here. God, that guy does so much damage. Oh, okay. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, this guy is just doing this fight for me. Basically. I'm getting some hits in though. So I don't feel completely useless. Oh yeah, he's out of magic now. Woo! Yeah, gargoyle helmet. And twin humanities. Yeah, you did it. Yeah, I mainly that fight, if you don't have a human partner, in this room, there's an AI partner you can summon, and he makes this fight a lot easier. And I think that's one they added. I don't think he was there. They added a lot more of those. Okay, hang on. We'll do this very quickly. It's just you here. Let me look up the actor. Let me just look up the character. He sounds so familiar. Bishop. Come on. Okay, he's a real person. He is played by Jonathan Rhys Mears, who... Oh, he's done tons of stuff. Oh wow, he's been in stuff for a very long time. He's Irish. Let me see, can I find his IMDb? So it's not him. Jonathan Rhys Meyers. He sounds really similar though. How do I look this up? Just, I hate browsing IMDb on the phone. Okay. Oh yeah, he's... Okay, this guy's been in a lot of stuff. No, I don't want to be fucking out. Okay, let's see. Yeah, oh, he's been in tons of stuff. Oh! He was Dracula in the TV show Dracula. I don't know that specific Dracula. Nah, okay. He could be though. He sound his performance as Bishop Edmund in Vikings. He sounds exactly like that NPC. I remember when he showed up in the show. I wanted to look him up because I was like, why does his voice sound familiar? But no, like maybe I've seen him in one of those things. Okay, well let's go ring the bell. And we can backtrack a bit, pick up what we left up, and then probably will end it. I gotta say, yeah, for not having played this game in like maybe 7 to 8 years, that wasn't too bad today. And I've learned enough playing these games to know that the deaths I got were my fault. Ding ding! Woo! Yeah. like I said, I'm going to poke around the few areas I missed in this little church, and then I think you can activate an elevator that takes you back to the main hub. There we go. So that's one bell. We don't have Praise the Sun yet. We've got to get a bit further in the game to unlock the Praise the Sun emote. Ooh.
Greetings. I am Oswald of Kareem, the Pardon. Thou appearest to lack
I
faith.
completely forgot this guy was here. You couldn't tell, I don't think. But I got freaked out a little bit because there was just this guy just standing like this. It's like, what?
For indeed all sins my domain.
Okay, what do you have? Reduce curse build-up and breaks curse. Report trespasses of invader. Okay, I think we'll buy some of this stuff just because it's unique. What does this do? Oh, it's a talisman. Ah, yeah. Oh, that's actually... Okay, maybe later. Well, what is it?
Stocking up on indictments? How honorable of you.
So I think what this guy is if you've been invading players, you can pay. So yeah, this covers players who. Feel like something's up with these leaderboards. There we go. A little weird that all the top people there have 60,000. So this is how many people have invaded other people's worlds and killed them, and killed the the host player. Not so sure about the top 12 there. No. I brought that item. What does it do? Slips sold by Bishop. If you are killed by an invader, use this to report the crime, and that this will be added to a list of unfortunate souls who won't face the wrath and blaze of Dark Moon. Yeah, and that's one of the really the Covenant stuff in this game is so there's so much to it. Because if you're in that Covenant, you can actually that's okay. It might be a limit, but the fact that there's such a huge difference between someone having 7,000 and then 12 players all having 60,000, that makes me think that's people cheesing the leaderboard. I don't know for sure. Just need to check something quick. No, okay. I had a Discord pin out to make sure it wasn't. I have an update to that story. When I was streaming last, hang on. No, okay. When I was streaming last, someone pinned me in a Discord I'm moderating, and it wasn't a moderation question. They were just asking me just some like random question, and I was like, "Hey, sorry, dude, I'm busy. I can't. Like, this is not the time to pin me, especially because I'm not a moderator." And I had to explain that for some reason. He did not understand what I was saying. Because I told the guy, I was like, "Hey, yo, I'm streaming," and his response was, "Good for you, question mark." And it's like, well, no, it's not if people are pinning me while I'm in the middle of a stream. And I check thinking that there's a moderation issue, and I look and it's just some guy asking me random questions. And then the guy's like, "Oh, okay, I won't pin you for anything anymore." And it's like, well, no, you can pin me, just don't pin me if it's not about moderation. Because, you know, I'm expecting... If it's an emergency, like, yeah, I'll drop it, but I can't drop... There we go. I knew there was something up here I was missing. But, you know, I can't drop the stream just to... just to answer, like, random questions that I don't even have the answer to. I'll tell you, because it's just a minor story, because I do the moderation for the Fightcade program. We do have some rule about needlessly pinning. It was only once, so I'm not going to say it was wrong. But it was more just a common courtesy of, you know, I have my Discord on... I have my streamer mode on Discord, so when I'm streaming, it says, hey, I'm hosting a stream. So you'd think most people would be smart enough to be like, oh yeah, he's hosting the stream, so he's not going to answer any messages. He's not going to... But I'd have to double check. I actually can't remember how we phrased it. If we have a specific thing that says like, oh yeah, don't pin us for non... Oh no, it wasn't PM, it was just a pin. Here we go. There we go. So that's the shortcut back down. As in, you know, like at pin, not PM. I wasn't saying like PM as in like pim. I have a lot of souls. Okay, so what I was going to say, so yeah, so if you're in that Covenant of the Dark Blade, what that lets you do is, so normally when you invade people, you're choosing to do a bad action. You have to use like a specific dark crystal that lets you invade people. But if you're part of that Covenant, you can invade people on that indicted list without it being counted as a punishment.
Hello there.
Oh yeah, here we go.
I believe we are not acquainted. I am Petrus of Thoroland. Have you business with us? If not, I'd prefer to keep a distance, if possible. Hello there. I realize that I have requested that we retain our distance.
So it was weird. Okay,
but
so
I also want you to know that it is not meant in ill will.
There's a decent number of people who talk about Fightcade, which is
as a token of peace.
You've messed with it.
No, go ahead.
The net play client that lets you play arcade games online. And every so often there are people who insist, like, oh hey, there's input drops with this thing. There didn't used to be input drops, but when I'm playing, I swear that my inputs drop.
So what if I were to teach you some miracles? Would that please you?
Developers have always said, well, if there are, we need some evidence of it because we've never been able to produce those input drops on our side.
Then first,
and
a covenant with
no one will, for some reason. There was one guy. There we go. We'll join the covenant. I forget what joining this covenant does. I might have to look that up.
Now let me share my miracles.
But you have to join to...
Only their ultimate effectiveness will be determined by your efforts and your faith.
There we go. Can learn the gesture though. There we go. Can learn how to shrug. But yeah, if we want this stuff... What does this do? Display more guidance from other worlds. Interesting. There's heal. I am talking into the mic. It's right freaking here. Kick your ass. There's more talismans.
Come again. The effectiveness of the...
But there was one user specifically that I think we've told multiple times, hey, you keep saying there's this issue. Here's a version, like originally it was a separate version of the emulator, but now it's in everyone's version. But they were like, here's there's a debugging tool. If you play the game, you turn this on, it shows you your inputs. So if there are consistent input drops, you can use this to show them. And months ago, it was like almost a year ago or something, this user was like, oh yeah, totally, I'll do that. I can't wait to prove this. And then we just never heard from them. And then later, and what they started doing is like every couple of days, they would come into the server and they'd just be like, oh hey, just posting my daily reminder of all the input drops in this game. It wasn't in the original GGPO, which is such an old program. I don't know how this guy can act like he knows he can ultimately prove that that program, an older version, definitely never had any input drop issues. But whatever. Oh yeah, I think I could be wrong. Yeah, there is. There's a... Okay. How... What? I'm trying to remember how you get down there. Is this it? What it literally is that as you run the game, it will display your inputs. And I think it might... I don't know if it does save it to a log file or not. Oh, I did that wrong. Okay. Okay, let me try that again. There's secret items to get. But it shows your inputs. And I've told this guy, it's like, look, if it's a consistent thing you can reproduce, we need to have video evidence of it so the devs have something to go off. And this user was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And then came back months later and was just going, oh, I'm just going to post once a day telling you guys about this issue. Okay. I don't know why that happened. And at one point, I, you know, pinning him again. It's like, hey, if you want to report this issue, telling us there's input drops doesn't help fix the issue. Because it's like, there are so many factors that change every match that could be causing issues, you know? You know, like every hardware is different. That's weird. Once I got up here and I got through this window once, the collision there is really weird. Okay. I might not be doing this the intended way, but you know, considering I'm here, I think I might just take the big fall. I think I can do it. You know, yeah, but like different operating systems, different internet connections and providers, and so many factors. There we go. That could have an effect. Yeah, there's a... There you go. And I think what we're doing here. So, we were telling them again, it's like, hey, if you want to report this issue, you need to show us video evidence. We need the log showing your inputs being dropped, and we also need an input reader to show that the inputs aren't being dropped because of user error or because the stick has a mechanical issue. And they were just refusing to. And they're like, oh well, because I'd get ignored. It's like, well, how would you know that? You've never even tried. And at one point, it got so bad that I had to ban them because it's like, well, look, you've just been posting the same message over and over and over again. I like looking through their history. It's like it's the only thing you post. You're not helping. I've told you you're not helping unless you actually post something useful. And they were outright just refusing to. It's just like, yeah, what do you expect? Don't know what's going on here. Oh, skeleton's still there. Oh, he's still chasing me. Okay. After I had to, because it got to the point where it's like, hey, are you going to stop spamming this thing? Are you actually going to help us out? and they basically just admitted they were like, no. So I was like, okay then. Then I can't. And they could be right. They could be right and those issues do exist, but they don't actually care if they're not even going to... I don't see how someone like that cares if they're not even going to go through the proper process. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'll do that for now. I don't want to spend too much because I think... Okay, I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to...
Why, what a surprise. I didn't expect you to make it. Oh, somebody rang the bell. Wait, was it you? You never give up, do you? I don't know how you do it. Well, don't stop now. Only one more. But it's going to be suicide. Don't you ever think to forge your... You'd better, unless you enjoy...
I've got the...
What's wrong? Get a bit... No problem. We'll both be hot.
I forget. Maybe this guy doesn't tell you.
I don't...
Just wanted to check something.
How did that silly sorcerer's apprentice end up? You know, the one always prattling on. He left for the undead burg, but serves him right. If even old Big Hat can't... I hope he enjoys his...
Okay. Oh, check that guy out. Okay, I know somewhere around here. There's that guy I rescued. But I can't remember where he hands out. Maybe he's not here yet. But that guy I rescued. Yeah, I can take the filing thing I found. I can take that to the lady. I guess he's not here yet. Whoa. Because I remember he shows up at some point. Like around here, maybe? Alright. Yeah, let's go find the lady. I don't specifically remember where the next bell is.
I'm not up for
I don't think he tells you. No. I mean, there is stuff to do back in that area. Oh, there he is. There he is.
Ah, hello there. I have your reward. Please, accept it. I am grateful to you for freeing me.
Okay.
Not enough for you? Well, let's not be greedy now.
Now, I might look this up because I can't remember exactly how this works, but this is a reoccurring thing in a lot of these Souls games, where there's a guy who will turn traitor on you and start killing the friendly NPCs. There we go. And there's a weird bit where he'll kill her and run away, and you can chase after him and revive her. But while she's gone, the shrine, the filing doesn't work.
Our futures are murky. Let's not be too friendly now.
But because there are a lot of places to go. Like there's down here to go. There's a skeleton area which I don't think I'm ready to do yet. Honestly, I feel like I need a better weapon. If I remember right, hang on. I think you have to use a certain kind of weapon against the skeletons. Like dex weapons, maybe? There we go. Okay, I was going to do one more thing. I was going to go back and buy some stuff. That was it, and then I'll end. Yeah, there's some items you can pick up there, but you though there's not technically a actual like, oh, this is where you need to go, this is where you shouldn't go. Because if you're good enough, you can go to those areas early. You can run around that skeleton area. You won't really kill anything unless you're really patient. But you can run around that area and pick items up early. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go up here. Oh. Oh, nice. There's the blacksmith guy as well, but there's quite a few opportunities to go back that way. And it's not actually that many. His boxes don't actually cost that much when you get to a certain point. But coming back here is a bit of a weird path, so I'd rather buy the Rin now. Yeah, I think that boarhead is not a guaranteed drop. I could be wrong about that. I think because I had humanity at the time, because the more humanity you're carrying, the higher your drop rates are. If I remember, like, the second bell is down. Hey, there's a helmet I want. I'm calling it a helmet, but there's a headpiece I want. It's very me. But I'm not sure when you get it.
Greetings. I am pleased.
Okay. So yeah, so I was just gonna buy... Oh crap, I can't afford it. I'll just have to use some of the There might be other places to get these Rins though. I'm trying to think if it's actually worth buying these. Hang on. I'm gonna check that actually. Okay. Blood Bite Rin. Oh no. However, these elements are rare in PvP and even more so in PvE. Okay, so they're not super useful, but only he sells them. You can at one point, but we can't yet. There's I think once you've run both the bells, you can. There's a guy who you can give your junk items to, and he'll turn them into souls. There's a hint of it when I'm in that little building with the water filling it, and you can hear that snoring. I guess maybe I could go to the blacksmith and buy stuff there. That might be the only thing worth doing. Whoa. Noticing some bugs where enemies are like respawning in. I can, but it's probably not worth upgrading this sword. Heck, he's selling, I think he's selling a sword that's stronger than the one I'm using. We can't sell yet. There's a specific NPC you have to unlock to sell stuff. Oh, I didn't know you guys came in this far. Oh. Yeah, we'll just do this and then I'll go back to Firelink.
Well, you need it.
Yeah, see, if I purchase... This is what I want. There we go. But yeah, see, the broadsword is slightly stronger. The bastard sword is actually even stronger than those. And the... Okay, hang on. There is a requirement for it, but I'm going to buy it anyway.
Don't get yourself killed. Neither of...
Let me see. Okay, so... Oh, but my stamina is super low with this on. Get the slow roll. Yep, Sen Fortress still closed up. That's okay, I'm not far off, I think, from... I could probably just change my helmet to... Yep, there we go. Just use this helmet for a while. There are a few enemies I didn't go and kill. Though I might do that off stream. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm not going to do it now. But there are a few... Now that I've leveled up a bit, I can probably go back. There was that guy on top of the, like, spiral staircase we avoided. And if I backtrack far enough in the, like, Undead Berg area, there's a Black Knight in a corridor. There we go.
Have you been to the ruins of New Londo below?
Oh, okay, he
Just
is telling
head
me.
down the stairs and take the
Yeah,
lift.
so New Londo
It's
must...
certainly worth a visit. It was once an undead city, unless the...
Yeah, so that must be where we're intended to go. Keep hearing weird noises around this area. It must be the bird. This guy's still fine. What I might do next time we load up is try and kill this guy early. I'm not sure if I'm strong enough yet though. But you know, I do have. Okay, what does this do? A symbol. Huh. Is the ultimate honor rewarded to those who summon the Warrior of Sunlight and complete a goal. The symbol represents Lord Gwyn's firstborn who lost his deity status and was expunged from the annals, but the old god of war still watches closely over his warriors. So I don't know what that does. Okay, so these are what let you invade other people's worlds. But yeah, I do have all these. Even coins of great value in the world of men have little value in Lordran, where the accepted currency is souls. Those who dream of returning to the outside world are fond of carrying these around. I think there is something important with that, but I don't remember. Alright, well, let's prepare everything. There we go. And that'll be it. Okay, that'll be it for now. Thank you for hanging out today, Clarice. Thank you everyone else who came to hang out. Yeah, this game still holds up. Obviously the frame rate, rough in this version. I don't know if that was a PlayStation 3 specific issue or if it was just as framey on the Xbox 360. I will say, I mostly prefer playing this version because though the Xbox has better triggers than the PlayStation 3, attack and defend are on these. And I remember playing with like a 360 controller. I tried it. I remember it not being as comfortable. So I kind of prefer this control scheme. So, but yeah, we'll try and do this often because there is a lot to this game. Is fixed what? I mean, the only issue, this is more just this controller. Yeah, I can demonstrate here because there's no one around, but it doesn't take a lot of effort to activate these triggers. Like, see, look, watch. That. You don't push it all the way down, so it's very easy to, like, put the controller down and accidentally click the triggers. Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, obviously. But obviously the PlayStation 4 version. I did look it up just to see how much it costs. It's £35, which is that's like 50-ish bucks, maybe more. Which is like, I'm not sure I want to pay that for a game I already own. So yeah, but still, we did pretty well. I didn't think I was going to get that far in the first stream. I'm not sure when I'm going to stream this next, but I might try and do this quite often. Like, do this one-off game, come back kind of thing, just because there is so much content, including optional content and DLC, which I can't remember if I own the DLC or not. I'm not sure how you would check that, because the DLC you get to a certain part of the game. I'm pretty sure that boss fight I loaded in my first save and died on, I think is DLC, but I could be completely making it up. But thank you everyone. I've been your host, Johnny Baghead, as always. I hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you're having a wonderful evening, a wonderful day, a wonderful night, daylight, daytime. Whatever you're enjoying, enjoy it well, and, you know, praise the sun and all that, you know. I was going to end the stream, but I have to use my hand, so that's all. That's